Hello, Lagos. Good afternoon. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili, and these are your hard facts. Just had fact of the day, and Tungo is in the final. Yeah, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. She's the first. She's on final shortlist candidates for Director General of the World Trade Organization. Remember when she was first nominated for the position? We talked about it on 3 Global Edition. That part segment of Hard Facts comes your way every Friday. So tomorrow, 3 to 5, we let Nigerian stories and we take a look at international stories. And when we talked about it on the Global Edition, there were a few holding to say a country while I don't reach anywhere. Oh God, how's them? Huh? She's in the final now. She's around. And by November 6th, we're going to find out if she gets the job. But a big congratulations to her. It's a very impressive achievement. Been trying for a while to get her on Hard Facts so that we can talk about her achievements. Hopefully that will still happen. Also, congratulations to the WTO because it's about the first ever woman DG. Yeah. Even its opponent is a woman. So one glass ceiling shattered. Ha ha ha. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Now, you guys are more than the WTO because you're already women president here on Hard Facts, right? So congrats to all 600,000 plus of you. Let's bring you to Big Three. We'll talk about the NSAS, the ones in Lagos, Abuja, and other parts of Nigeria, as well as what leaders are saying the controversial police unit. Conversations coming your way on the Big Three. Also going to talk about the horrible explosion that rocked Lagos early day. A filling station exploded, took houses with it because in a residential area. Then we're going to talk about President Buhari draft 2021. He has presented it to the Assembly today. So we're going to talk about what we'll so far. Now, remember, you to us on Twitter at Nigeria Info. You can also with us on Facebook, Nigeria Info 93. We've got WhatsApp, 80959 Today's Thursday. We're bringing you Eyewitness as always. From 4:30, you get to call us and tell us what's happening in your part of Lagos. At 4, we'll bring you League of Extraordinary Nights. That's happening right here on Hearts. Today, we've got something coming your way between 5 and 6 on the fact. We'll talk about some fraudsters giving their money to such pastors to hide. I want to talk about this in the context of karma. Lots of people don't want the government to be able to check on the finance of religious bodies. But what if the bodies are being used for fraud and for money laundering? I hear your opinions. Between 5 and 6, we'll have that. Of course, there's news updates of every hour. You need to listen to every minute. A chance to play just a minute. Just a minute is the segment each show on Nigeria Info that allows you win 10 naira. So get ready for that. It's going to be. And after the news, I'll hand you over to Ibakare Yusuf at 6:30, Lagosa at 6:15. Ibakare Yusuf brings you listed Lagosian every Thursday. It's an interview with amazing Lagosians. They get to teach you about Lagos that they knew growing up. It's really great, especially if you're a young Nigerian and you don't know what Lagos was like back in the 60s and 70s and 80s. That show is for you. So stay here when it comes around. But for now, the Big Three.
This is the Big Three.
The Big Three on Hard Facts
on 99.3 Victoria Info.
Will the NSAS tests yield a result? Will the NSAS protests yield a result? Why are people allowed to build petrol in residential neighborhoods? That's happening. And what do you think of President Buhari's draft budget? The Big Three. Let's talk. Young Nigerians have taken to the streets to demand the end of SARS. Young Nigerians have taken streets to demand the end of SARS, and it's quite that if I do say so myself. SARS, of course, is Special Armed Robbery Squad, and they news since the weekend, right? So we have a lot of celebrities who joined the protest. Fouls the Bad Guy, Tiwa Savage, Run Town, Toke Makinwa. Now, remember I told you earlier this week how Naira Marley wanted to lead his own SARS demonstration, right? But the police got in touch with him and he agreed to an Instagram live chat instead of a protest. And I guess these other celebrities you don't get that memo because they are on the streets and they've gotten the attention of the police. There's a video online right now showing a representative of the police talking to the protesters. If you're watching us on Facebook, you can actually see that video for yourself. Facebook is Nigeria Info 99.3. Nigeria Info 99.3. You can actually see footage that was showing you of Fowles the bad guy talking to the police. You'll hear the crowds for yourself. And just in case you don't have your phone with you at the moment and therefore you cannot see for yourself what I'm talking about, we've got audio of the protest.
All fighting for the same cause. We are interested in addressing the AIG. The AIG, I'm representing the AIG. Relax, be patient. And I must tell you, can't hear me, can't hear you. Don't make noise, don't make noise, don't make noise. If you keep quiet, you will hear. That's a good thing. He doesn't want.
If you were watching on Facebook, you were taking a look at that footage for yourself. And we also had Fowles eventually say quite a few words.
We have to ginger everyone. We're going to let our intentions be known. We do not want SARS anymore. You know, they come with all sorts of stories about reform, what they're allowed and what they're not allowed to do. But it's about time to completely abolish SARS. And that's what I guess.
Now, as you know, the demonstrators are calling on government to scrap SARS. Government has been unwilling to do that. The idea of police ordered SARS to stop patrolling the streets for now, stop mounting checkpoints. But we're still getting unconfirmed reports that SARS personnel are violating order and they're still on the streets and allegedly still extorting people. I told you Tuesday that there was a Twitter handle called SARS Watch that reports whenever somebody actually caught them on the streets. So by sense, we tell Sandra, I saw them this week, or Sandra, they harassed me yesterday, or I'd like to hear about that. But anyway, clearly the police doesn't want SARS to end. They don't want to end SARS, and neither does the National Assembly, really. Aki Alabi in the House of Reps raised a motion to scrap SARS, but it doesn't appear to have gotten anywhere. In the Senate, Remi Tinubu raised a motion to look into SARS, but the Senate President Ahmed Lawan has said that scrapping SARS is a bad idea. There's even a question about whether National Assembly even has the power to scrap SARS in the first place, since the police are under the executive. We're going to have to talk to lawyers about that particular aspect soon. But my question today is whether you agree with the protesters or the Senate President and the IG. They are leaning more towards some sort of reform of the squad. But protesters are saying that such a reform is not possible because the problem is with the personnel themselves. Some protesters are also saying, why not ban the squad until government has finished whatever retraining and reforming that they're doing. Ban the squad, and then we can talk about reestablishing the squad. I wonder what you think. I wonder what you have to say to that. Do you think that SARS is salvageable? Do you think scrapping them would make a difference? Do you think the rest of the police is just as likely to abuse the rights of Nigerians, and so scrapping SARS doesn't change anything? Are SARS doing their job of preventing armed robberies? Do you think that's happening? If SARS are scrapped, will there be an actual law enforcement void, or will the rest of the police be able to fill it? 0700-993-993-993. Tweet at us at Nigeria Info FM, and definitely share your thoughts via WhatsApp. WhatsApp is 080-959-75805. 080-959-75805. The number to call is 0700-993-993-993. We've got Obiora on the line. Obiora is our first caller. Obiora, how are you doing? Thanks for calling us.
Please. There is this complaint I want to learn.
Okay.
will the Lagos state government not allow us, we are the business people, to start our business? We are the house, and the expenses is growing every day. Would they not let us do that?
OBR, that's not what we're talking about, but thank you so much for calling to raise that to our attention. We can have a conversation about that at a future date. But thanks so much for calling. 99.3, hello.
Hello, Sandra.
How you doing? What's your name?
President Sandra.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. My name is Ayo.
Hi, Ayo.
Yeah, I'm fine, thank you. Following the SARS, banning of SARS, you can't ban SARS. You can only limit their actions.
Okay.
No matter what we do in Nigeria, we cannot ban SARS.
I see.
Because if we saw a reason for them to be established, and they have been established, so we have to look for how it will work for everybody.
Do you think SARS is salvageable? Do you think they can be salvaged?
Yes.
Okay.
100% yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you for calling to share that with me. If you just joined the show, we're talking about demonstrations that happened all over Nigeria today, Lagos, Abuja, other parts of the country. And these demonstrators are asking for an end to SARS. Prince is in Isolo. Hello, Prince. Thanks for calling us.
Thank you very much. Am I on to
Sandra?
President
Yes,
Sandra?
You're talking to Sandra now. Go ahead.
Oh, our dear President. Thank you very much. I'm following this topic you've raised.
Okay.
It's a very important topic.
I agree.
And I will agree with you, Polly, that we need every little iota of security because we have a lot of insecurity issues in our land. Now, what I want us to do with this SARS issue is that we require a total overhauling of the entire thing called SARS.
Okay.
First of all, we need to look at the recruitment process of SARS. We need to look at training. We need to look at their qualifications equally. Because most of these police guys you see, they don't have that psychological kind of expertise to deal with the public, even though they are supposed to be the civilian angle of security outfit that we interact with. You know, do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because most times their conduct, you begin to ask yourself, are these guys from hell or what? So my own suggestion is they should be trained. Let's have qualified guys to do this job. If their job is risky, then we should look at the emolument. Because there's a way you put a man out there and you are paying him peanuts. Man, I mean, with the current inflation of this country, he can do anything. You know. And again, I have to play with society. Because most times the youth will tell you if what's wrong with my having dreadlock or whatever they call it, or that I'm wearing a tattoo. Please, let's stop some of this. I keep challenging the youth, even my own children. I tell them, you can never see an American president wearing tattoo, even though we emulated that culture from there.
We didn't emulate tattoo from them. We always had tattoos. You don't know your culture.
Okay, we started. No, in my place, we call it Imanzu.
In Harbour now. Tattoo, Imanzu now.
Okay,
all the same
right,
thing.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. But you know, when they started growing up, they started seeing the big A-class artists in US, you know, wearing tattoo up and down.
Those ones copied it from us. It's our culture that those ones copied.
It's not debatable. You know, say when we copy, we don't copy completely. They copy completely and gone beyond that. But please, let us stop some of these things. I keep telling them, you can't see the likes of Bigot wearing any of this stuff, even earring and whatever. But down here.
No, but it's our culture to wear earring. It is our culture. It is our culture to have locks. It is our culture to have tattoo.
I agree with you totally, my dear. But Sandra, let me tell you something. You know, if you know that there's what they call black spots, and you know if you get to that black spot, it's either somebody will attack you or rape you or do something. What do? You avoid the black spot.
Okay.
Am I right?
Okay.
So, because where the problem in this country now is that we should be careful. We should get ourselves to.
No, but is that the answer, or is the answer to teach these people that wearing earring or having tattoo or having locks is not a sign that that person is a criminal?
No, it is not a sign.
So, for instance, I have dreadlocks. My hair is dreadlocks. So, imagine that police sees me on the road road now stops you and says, because Sandra Ezekwesili has dreadlocks, she's a criminal. Imagine that.
No,
No, but why? But why should you judge a random boy you see or a random man that you see because she has dreadlocks? You say she's a criminal when you've not caught her in any crime.
That's where training comes in.
So isn't that the message we should all be unanimously preaching? Shouldn't we all unanimously say, no, what you should do, don't judge them because of their hair or their tattoo or their earring. Let's all say that. Let's not now say, but you too cut dreadlocks. You too don't have that. Because that
is a free world.
Because no, it's not even about free society. It's about let's not judge a book by its cover. It's about let's not say that somebody is a criminal when they're a criminal simply because of how they are going to dress. No be so. No be so. So if all of us are saying no, the only people that we should be talking to here are the police officers who what's the word now? Who profile young Nigerians because of how young Nigerians dress. They should stop it. Not young Nigerians don't dress like this, because there are young Nigerians that don't have locks, they don't have tattoo, they don't have anything, but they still stop them.
They see exactly. And finally, my dear President Sandra, please, I would be happier when some of those SARS, whatever they call themselves, culpable already. I want all of them to be punished. Let us see them being punished as a deterrent to other overzealous ones. Because it's not about end SARS, refurbish them, rehabilitate them. It won't end there. Because people have already committed crimes against humanity, against Nigeria. So those boys, or whoever they are, must be fished out and punished by police authority. But by law courts.
Okay.
If the ones that deserve to be sentenced to death, fine. If it's imprisonment, fine. Because these guys cause a lot of harm to us. Honestly.
All right.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your good work. Even though I'm a first-time caller, but not first attempt. I've attempted like 4 million times.
It will be easier now. It will be easier. Once you get in the first time, it becomes easier.
For real?
Yeah, for real.
Okay, Prince Leo will always be calling. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for calling, sir. God bless you as well. We've got Monday in Ayobo on the line. Monday, how are you?
Fine. That's Sandra?
This is Sandra. Welcome. Go ahead.
Oh, President Sandra.
Good to have you on the show. Good afternoon.
I normally enjoy your program.
Thank you.
Though I don't normally call, but for issue of SARS, I live with police in Gowan Estate.
Okay.
People don't normally go to the root of that problem of police.
Okay.
You know why? Every policeman want to take future by their hand. Do you know the reason?
What's the reason?
My brother retired after 35 years, was paid 3 million. Are you getting me?
Yes, I'm getting you.
There was a time they protest. Most of the protests, nobody have go to about that. Nobody have respond to that protest concerning the issue of retirement after 35 years.
Okay.
And he didn't build the house. All the time he was with the police. He regretted it. So, if you want the problem of police to solve, build future for them so that they will hold the work well, so that they will be watching at their future, what they will get from their future. That is the solution. People don't normally go to the route. It's not training. They have been going to training. They have been trained all the time. But refusing the implementation of something that they want to get. People don't normally go there and ask, what is the problem? What are these people looking for?
Okay.
So what I'm telling you now, try to investigate it. People retire. My brother now is driving Faragon, old Faragon, before he eats. The children are suffering. He himself is suffering. No house. So many policemen, hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
So many policemen, they see that the government want them to take picture with it themselves, but nobody have going to about the implementation of money.
So you're saying that government isn't paying them well, their pension is not enough, and so that's why when they're in the force, they try to make all the money they can.
Yes.
Okay.
After 35 years, you have somebody 3 million. And it's their money, they are reducing it. I listened to your program once time, Sandra, that when somebody said that, I think, whether I know or something like that,
okay,
that they have been texting message to him, 30,000 naira that they are moving. But the getting to where the father want to collect money, they say they are removing 3 naira. They pay the man 1 point something million. The man he is to take the money.
So we're deducting 13,000, but when we went to collect the money, it was not 10,000.
No, 3 naira.
Do you remember the name of the pension scheme?
I have. It's police special, police. Somebody call with this in 9.3. He took the father to what they gave to him is 1 point something million. He asked the father asked them that this is what you people tested to me. They said no, this is what there is corruption in the system that people don't normally go to.
Monday, thank you so much for calling us. Well, Monday is correct that there is a lot of corruption in the system, and that corruption is often what we see. It's the symptom is what we see on the streets, what we see with harassment of young people, but also uncomfortable with saying, well, because they're not paying well, because their pensions are not great, or average citizens like you and I have to bear the brunt of that. The answer for average citizens like you and I to bear the brunt of that, the answer is for that particular corruption to come to the forefront, and then citizens agitate on their behalf until they get the remuneration that they deserve. But that's a different conversation for a different day. You're listening to Hard Facts on 99.3 Nigeria Info. If you just joined the show, we started today's Big Three by telling you that demonstrations happened in Lagos and Abuja and other parts of the country today with people agitating for the end of SARS. We'll take a quick break, we'll come back, and then we'll continue our conversation on the Big Three.
Stay right here on the Big Three on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Private sector supported us, like Wazobia giving us free airtime to air. That would have cost a pretty penny if we had been paying every day for the program. So I suggest that everybody should come on board.
My friends introduced me to it, and my daddy saw it online that they are having class on Wazobia TV.
I appreciate Lagos State Government and Wazobia TV for this their program.
Given the response, I encourage every child in the SS3 program, and even those that are not in SS3 yet but want to learn, please join in.
Join us for daily lessons Monday to Fridays, 2 p.m. on Wazobia TV, UHF 57, Go TV channel 98, My TV channel 17, and Star Times channel 195. Also on Wazobia FM 5.1, 12 noon to 2 p.m.
This radio lesson. This is the Big Three.
The Big Three on Hard Facts
on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
All right, Lagos, you're listening to Hard Facts on 99 Nigeria Info. The death toll is mounting from a gas station explosion in Barua. That's our second story. It happened early this morning around 6 a.m. according to LASA. And unfortunately, this gas filling station was in a residential area. So the explosion affected lots of buildings nearby. By Lasema's count, we have 25 houses. 25 houses, 16 cop shops, and 1 school was affected. So far, at least 8 people confirmed dead. These stories, they make me sound like a broken record. And even saying I sound like a broken record is beginning to sound like a broken record. Because we all know that as long as we don't have underground piping to supply gas to our homes, as long as we rely on cylinders and refills at gas depots, these types of explosion will keep happening and people will keep dying. So just like the question of are Nigerians ready to demand better pay for police, are Nigerians ready to demand that government puts down the gas piping infrastructure or not? And speaking of government, there's also the issue of zoning. I don't mean which region gets the presidency next. No, I mean zoning in terms of building planning. A gas filling station has no business inside a residential area. It shouldn't be anywhere near house and school. It shouldn't have been anywhere near house or a school. So how did that happen? Did the station come and meet the houses, school, or did the houses and the school come and meet the station? Because either way, somebody did something wrong. And by rights, the local government or the state government should have stopped that construction. There are laws against this. So that means the question of the day. Why do we people not respect zoning and town planning? I wish Agogo was here. He would have had a field day having this conversation. Now, I say we as a people because it's not just government. The person who decided to build a gas station in a neighborhood knows better, but does it anyway. The people in the neighborhood also know better, so why don't they report the person to the authorities? The authorities know better, so why do they look the other way? Why does that happen? This is not an academic question. No. This is not grammar. 8 people have died today. 8 people at least have died today. And there's going to be more explosions and more neighborhoods. More Nigerians will die. But guess what? People will still build gas stations, gas filling stations in residential areas, even though the law forbids it. And it's not just deadly things like gas explosions. We also see nightclubs and churches in the wrong place, factories, block industries, shops in the wrong place. Why are we so unruly when it comes to construction and zoning regulations? Why do we keep doing the wrong things, building the wrong things in the wrong areas, even if it means endangering the lives of others? Why doesn't government do a better job enforcing its own zoning laws? Now, you create the zoning law. Why you know they enforce and where as government? What needs to happen before we can get government to build a proper gas infrastructure? 070-993 993 0700 993 993. We've got a WhatsApp from Theophilus who says, I know we have good police officers, but corruption will not let them put the right people there. I know most touts collecting money are now wearing police uniform and carrying gun. Which training program do Nigerian police organize for their staff? Can you please get Frank to give us an answer? He has been on Hard Facts a number of times, and he has given us the different kinds of training that police have to undergo. Good afternoon, President Sir. The people calling on the structure, how can you pay someone with probably a primary school certificate more than 70,000 naira? They earn more than this. And a BSc holder is collecting 30,000 naira minimum wage. The fact is that these men are aware of the salary before they do. The entire police force are just corrupt, joined with a different motive. Nonyeka from Ikoton Things. We've got Evangelist on the line. Hello, Evangelist. Thanks for calling.
Hello, Madam Sandra.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the show.
Long time.
Yeah.
How was your leave?
Well, thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. I'll come back.
Thank you.
Okay, let me quickly, the one that is very, very interesting is, let me quickly say something about this gas station thing.
Yes.
Sandra, if you are moving around Nigeria, the whole country, so this is not the first time that we have a gas station in the residential area.
Yeah.
In fact, there are some that is very, very dangerous. Almost the gas station, if you turn around there, you see they have a gas station. Almost every gas station that have a cafe, a food restaurant within the environment. And they have never looked at very big rigs. They look at it as a good environment for business. But they forgot that this is where you petrol inside. You are carrying out a place that you have restaurants that has to do, you cook, you have to boil water, you have to do these things. You may not look at it as a very risk in looking. But as far as this area is concerned, it is a very big risk. Okay, look at, for instance, in Lekki Phase 1, even though people turn it to a business environment these days, the Lekki Phase 1 inside is a residential area, but you see a lot of stations, even close to people, where people are living, close to school, supermarket. So this kind of a thing needs to have agency that
we do. We have agency.
They are not, madam. They are not doing their work. Then some are fired. Have to fire. When you have agents that are not doing their work, somebody has to for the work to be done properly. If you're talking about the SARS issues, when it's yesterday, is the IG doing? What is the IG doing? What are they doing? Because let me tell you, before a police officer take for inspection or whatever, red block or any duty, they have a book to sign back over that duty. They are meant to report back to the unit that they have taken off for that assignment. So this crime and calamity committed, the people in charge, what are they doing? It's absolutely not doing anything. That's why you see like SARS is getting mad. That's why you see SARS is killing anybody. And government will set their up. Tomorrow you will see SARS on the way.
So how do we force the hand of government to enact consequences for bad behavior? Because that's all you've described to me, the fact that nobody is being punished when they play. How do we force government to begin to behavior?
Okay, Madam Sandra, very much for that question. Remember the book, the Bible, that I believe. It said, the Bible said, if foundation is not solid, what can I do? If the foundation is not solid, what can the righteous do? Not, Madam Sandra, don't have a good leader in a society. That society is not absolutely nothing to write home about. If you don't have a good foundation, if you don't lay a foundation, Madam Sandra, you cannot build a fantastic house on it or land on it. So the problem of us is from the leadership. It's from the leadership. Madam Sandra, how can we build a society, you and I, you and me? We are in a society and you have committed a crime and you go God-free. Tell me what moral will stop me not to commit crime? If you have done and nothing is absolutely done to you, you are working freely and you are still in that work collecting salary. Tell me what will mean not to do the same thing that is benefiting you illegally? You are benefiting. I will also look at it as a opportunity for me to also do it. But if you punish for doing that, I will question from that.
Evangelist, thank you so much for calling. I appreciate it. Ngozi is Nikoyi. Hello, Ngozi.
Hello, Sandra. Good evening.
Good evening. Thanks for calling.
Thank you. Honestly, the issue of SARS has been a very big wound in the midst of Nigeria. Honestly, for me, I think you cannot give one half.
Okay.
It's as simple as the police is is corrupt. Sandra means corrupt. If there is anywhere that corruption, that's what the itself is. And they can deny this and they cannot shy away from it. Everything that any officer does on the road or anywhere, you will not say that the superior person, and I notice even those on patrol have a senior officer among them, and they are doing all these things. It simply tells you that these people have grown wings time. They all know what a gang of is. It has become a gang. It has become a norm, a business in the police. You even police reaching highway patrol, you will see them hanging in the corner of the street, extorting money from these bike guys. I don't know, the society have decayed to this. Go to police barracks. The worst place to ever be in your life is police barracks. You cannot even take water and when you enter any of the barracks. These are a place where human beings live. And this tell me why they would think normal. Out from even such an environment, why would they behave normal? Secondly, the name attached to this force, the force, I don't think that's expected. If you call this guy, they are using force on you and I. Because if they are police, say police is your friend. It's like saying a military guy that is in the barrack, no, the only thing he knows is my friend. I don't see any police person as my friend. I see them as enemies. Honestly speaking, each time I come across any one of them, that's how I see. They terrorize people, sir. The police officials, they want, I'm willing. Evening, we will drive around Lagos where you have a police station. You will see them hanging in front of their police station, extorting money from Kekawa, extorting money from Okada. They pay them on daily basis. And these things go on even under the roof of the DPO in those stations. With the area boys, you see them smoking in their hands. Even at Osho, the most times when I'm coming back in the evening, you see them smoking near that Osho, where they built the new BRT stop. So I don't know why we are expecting so much from this guy. And me, Sandra, I believe these people cannot be reformed. It is within.
So if they can't be reformed, because Ngozi, there are reports of police officers extorting people on the road because they have to go and give accounts to their bosses at the stations. There are reports of endemic corruption in the police force. There are reports of their pensions not being what their pensions are supposed to be. So if a reform is impossible, what then is the answer? Because we still need the police. Because Nigeria is not exactly very safe, so we still need the police. So if a reform isn't the answer, what do you think the answer is, Ngozi?
Sandra, for me, what I believe is, one, the caliber of police officers we have on the road is a no-no for me.
Okay.
Their educational qualification, their mentality, I don't know whether you've come across some of them, you realize that a lot of them cannot even read and write, Sandra.
Okay.
I don't know whether you've noticed that.
Mm-hmm.
So, such a person, no matter the kind of training you give that to, the person would never absorb because of the mentality.
Okay.
What I feel is we have this way looking for job, Sandra. Let the country groom another set of policing. Not even police force. Remove the force. Groom these guys, whatever name you want to give them. With time, you phase them out with these other guys. Then those ones among them, like these stars, that feel they are very good at shooting, then you give them an opportunity to roll into the military.
But how do you attract graduates to the police force? Like, I'm thinking about myself now when I left school. What can the police do to attract people like me to the police force?
Sandra, for me, as we are saying, we all know the police, their remuneration is not anything to write home about. Structure the salary scheme of the police.
Okay.
Sandra, I don't see the reason why a politician will be earning 12 million in a month, where the doctors, the police, and other government parastatals that are even more important than these people earn a peanut. This money should be stripped off these politicians and used to pay the police, the new police they are going to bring forth. Sandra, this is the only way we can do it. If you say these guys, I'm telling you, they cannot change. I can beat my chest, they cannot. I've encountered some of them. Those guys are beneath. They are, as in, I don't know the way to use for them, Sandra. These guys cannot change. I just call them criminals in uniform. That's how I see them. The taxpayers' money, they still use it, even though you are not being paid well. Is this any fault of the Nigerians that suffer the same plight with you? Why do you vent your anger on your fellow citizens? So for me, it's a no-no.
Okay.
It's a no-no. The government should act, and when I say act, as swift as possible, Sandra. Because if this person, if they like, they will think it's like every other thing. They will sweep under the carpet. If this continues, the people, the youth are tired. People are getting more angry every blessed day.
Ngozi, thank you so much for calling. I appreciate it. Our third story is the 2021 budget. Remember, it's the big three, right? And on today's big three, we've talked about SARS demonstrations in Lagos and Abuja and other parts of Nigeria, as well as what some of our leaders have had to say about SARS. We've also talked about the horrible explosion that rocked Lagos earlier today. A filling station exploded and took with it houses and 8 lives so far. And for our final story, the president just gave the National Assembly his draft of the budget. So now both chambers will look at it and either accept it or make their changes and send it back to the president for signing. Hopefully before the year is over, the speaker thinks that they can get it done. So we're going to watch. We'll see. They managed it last year, so it may be able to be done this year as well. Now, we've not seen the full details of the budget yet. We're going to see it very soon. So next week, Tuesday, we're going to go deep into the details of the budget on the Big Hard Fact. 5 p.m. Tuesday, don't miss it. But right now, on the Big Three, let's talk about what we do know. First of all, it's a huge budget. 13.08 trillion naira. That's bigger than this year's budget. Now, government has been complaining about being broke. So, how do they hope to fund such a mammoth budget? That's the second thing. It has a lot of borrowing. The budget deficit is going to be 4.28 trillion naira. That's almost 1/3 of the budget. But that probably isn't even the full deficit picture. And here's why. The budget's benchmark price for crude oil is $40 per barrel. So the budget is estimating next year's oil revenue based on the assumption that oil will average at $40. That's maybe a fair projection, but the budget also projects that we will produce 1.86 million barrels per day. Now, if you ask the industry experts, they will give you much lower figures than that. They'll give you a much lower figure. So that means our actual oil revenues may be much lower next year, meaning that we may need to borrow even more than 4.28 trillion naira. Now, the president said something very interesting about revenue. He said that he has told every MDA, that's every ministry, department, and agency, to find ways to raise and increase revenue. Now, that may seem reasonable, but you have to ask yourself the question, should every government agency generate revenue in the first place, especially agencies that interact with the public? Doesn't asking these agencies to find new revenue streams encourage them to start charging the public for services? I mean, we already have the situations where agencies are already extorting Nigerians, both legally and illegally. You hear of fees for services that are getting higher and higher. Or you hear of citizens getting frustrated until they agree to pay bribes. So a lot of Nigerians are already worried that with this message from the president, these agencies are going to hear tear your eye, well, start extorting Nigerians. And then they'll start really doing that. And I wonder what you think. What do you think about a 13 trillion naira budget at a time that we've been told that we have to tighten our belts? What do you think about the 4 trillion naira deficit? Do you think Nigeria can produce 1.86 million barrels a day of crude oil to fund this budget? And what do you think about all government agencies being told to find ways to generate revenue? All government revenues, government agencies have been told to find ways to generate revenue. What do you think about that? And yes, you can still talk to us about our first few stories today. Do you think that the NSAS protests will yield a result? What can we do to end the incessant explosions that happen in neighborhoods? And what do you think about this budget? Emeka is in First Stack. Hello, Emeka.
Hello, good afternoon, Sandra.
Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, my sister. Budget in Nigeria has become like a ritual. Yeah, become like a ritual. Just like you, Sandra, now. I don't know your words. But can you do a budget of 1 billion naira as you are now?
I'm a normal worker. I can't do 1 billion naira.
So imagine Sandra Ezekwesili doing a budget of 1 billion. It's a wish. You understand?
Is it a waste?
It's a wish.
Oh, wish. Oh, okay. Yes, it's a wish.
Yeah.
Yes, so.
Why I call it a wish? A country is not supposed to be acting in like they are wishing. You understand? Like a miracle. You can't borrow almost half of their budget. And because those that are working are not practically thinking how to make, you have to create new opportunities for revenue to come.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you increase from your already existing services, that means Nigeria will pay higher for less benefit. But when you think outside the box and create new opportunities, it will help government to generate new income from an area ordinarily we are not receiving income. But I have seen government as marking time, and it's so unfortunate. We just mark time, 1 year gone, another 1 year gone. You understand? Individual. I'm not sure Dangote will be making this kind of budget. when you make budget, you make reasonable budget. That is realizable.
Well, to be fair, compared to some states in some parts of the world, this is a very small budget. But yes, I understand what you mean about how we shouldn't be making a budget like this based off of money we don't have. Emeka, thank you for calling us. Let me talk to James in Lekki. Hello, James.
Yeah, good afternoon, Sandra.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, first of all, the story of the explosion is so pathetic. We'll be hearing this almost every month. It's so pathetic.
Yeah.
I think the right people need to do the right thing so that we will not be having this kind of pathetic story every day, so many people dying from explosion. Okay, Sandra, please, I want to talk about this police.
Yes, go ahead. You can talk about any of the three stories. Go ahead.
Okay. Now, there's something we are not even looking at. The fact that somebody can just be killed by SARS operative just for no reason. The use of arms. I am so worried with the way arms are used by these security men. My father is an ex-military man.
Okay.
I remember I had an experience with a military man that he just laid his weapon in a careless way, and mistakenly something touched me, and he became furious and wanted to take it on me. Then I don't know, something just delivered me from that scene. I went to report this case to my father. My father was furious. He said that man is not trained. That you, as a force man, your weapon should be in a very good place. So sometimes the way these police handle this weapon, do you know that sometimes they don't account for? I don't know, but I think this is the case, that they can't even account for some of the bullets that they discharge out of their guns. You can't try that in the military. You can't. I'm telling you this, Sandra, because I have siblings that are in the military. One of my brother was demoted, and he was punished just for not handling his weapon in the right way. He should have taken it to the armory. They give account for the bullets they use. But how come somebody can be killed that is not even harmed? How come this is possible? There are a lot of questions that the police need to answer about this. Because we can't just have, now somebody is not harmed. Why should that person be killed by a policeman? Why? It's only when somebody is harmed that the police can, that first of all, you defend yourself and also you protect people around. But somebody is not harmed. Why should that person be killed? And how come people can be killed with straight bullets? All these questions, they are the kind of things that in the military is never tolerated. There is a court martial that if you, as a military man or whatever force you are, you commit a crime, you will be court-martialed. Look at it in the US. That's how it's done. You'll be court-martialed, taken out of the military, taken out of the police, and jailed. Why can't we have that in our country?
Good questions, James. Thanks for calling us. Joseph Jesus says, for us to end frequent gas and other explosions is to have an underneath pipeline instead of the present ones. John Awoke on Facebook says, I think reform SARS and police will not work well till we all change our value systems, which will correct it all, because SARS, police, all come from different homes in our communities and society. They're not from Mali or Chad. They are from our communities and the society. Our community and society have failed us through bad leadership or greed. Henry Adimakachi says, President Sandra, when I was still in school, I always had the mindset to join any of the forces in Nigeria. But when I saw and got to know how they are being treated, poor income, poor welfare, other things, I lost interest. But for government, they should invest more into our forces, make the system an open one. Proper care and good treatment should be given to these guys. I believe that if they start with this, it can go a long way to help the the forces in Nigeria. We've got a lot of comments on Facebook. My God. Unfortunately, I can't take all of them. Let's also go to Twitter where we have quite a few comments. Twitter is Nigeria Info FM. I'm coming to take WhatsApp comments in a bit. WhatsApp is Nigeria Info. No, WhatsApp is actually 080 959 75805. Olarenwaju Obadina says the CDA in the Barawa community had written to Lagos State government concerning that gas station before the construction, but they said that they have already granted the approval. Interesting. We're going to have to follow up that revelation there. Alaba Alagbe says President Buhari should as well protect the budget if finally returned back to him by the NAS from frivolity spending by the agencies and ministries. He should make sure 80% of it goes to the capital projects and the rest of the 20% for recurrent. Thank you for sending that message across. We've got Raymond Otugo who says a government sourcing for funds did not deem it fit to project revenue from gold, and we keep saying that we are one. Yeah, they smell. We've got Adeshola Ayinke who says, yes, SARS has really done more harm to the youth, causing untimely deaths in the name of extorting money. Twice as tall says the file of the Inspector General of Police and all his records from the time he joined need to be investigated. Who is he actually? If he rose through the ranks, has he also corruptly enriched himself? Does he have skeletons in his cupboard? Is that why he cannot discipline the police? Uncle Soft, that's not a message for hard facts. Okay, we've got this one who says a hairstylist wearing dreadlocks. He's a professional in his art and also his selling point for his business. Why y'all gonna say that about that, huh? Okay. Well, I mean, I always say that, locks are not strange to African culture. Religion came and made locks. Every time we say something is not our culture, we often don't differentiate between what is religion, what is culture as far as, certain religions are concerned, and what is culture as far as your indigenous culture is concerned. Do you understand? So there are people who, for instance, the myth was that they were born with locks, and people like that were often said to be children of the gods. There was talk like that. Back in the day, there was no clipper now. So we all had to wear our hair long. Men had to braid their hair. Women had to braid their hair. If you look at old pre-colonial pictures, you see that men and women had long hair. They had braided hair. So you can't say that that's not our culture. That's actually our culture. What is not our culture is cutting our hair the way that we now do, right? Because of colonialism. So these are the things that we need to teach ourselves so that we don't catch ourselves making some kinds of arguments that enables or emboldens the police. What you do is teach the police that even if this thing is not our culture, your culture is not the law. Your culture is your culture. It is not the law of the land. The law of the land says if you do not catch a person committing a crime, don't harass them. Don't harass them for not committing for just existing. These people are existing and you're harassing them for crimes they're not committing. Why should police harass people for doing something harmless? It's not your culture, okay, but it's harmless. It's not harming anybody. Your tattoo is not harming anybody. Your earrings are not harming anybody. Your locks are not harming anybody. Why should the police get involved in that? That's where we should start the conversation and keep it there. But yeah, that's it from me. We'll bring you League of Extraordinary Nigerians after the news at 4 p.m. We've got business news coming your way. Stay right here. Don't go away.
Live from the heart of Victoria Island, you're listening to your number one station, 99.3 Nigeria Info.